Today we're spectating a top 3 Ironman in season 2.5 after the update to see what he does better and how we can improve together. So here's our guy, Historic B, who has an insane game playing as Ironman. Now, this game is played in a platinum lobby, but he's now a diamond player after playing some insanely good games, to be honest. He's within the top 3 ranked of Ironmans, so obviously we can learn something from this guy, and obviously he's doing an amazing job here of his positioning. But we'll get on into that as we go through this. It's a slightly longer one because he actually drops over 100 elims in this game, which I think is pretty insane. Doesn't matter which rank you're in. Even if you're smurfing in lower ranks, you don't always hit 100 elims. You will get a high amount of elims, of course, but 100 elims in one game is pretty crazy in my opinion. And obviously we're going to see exactly how he does that, right? Now, one important thing I do want to note is basically the way he's playing is close to his team. He's not playing so far away, so high up. That's something that Ironman players, that was a really good ultimate. So he managed to flank in behind the team and put the ultimate down on the support. Good ultimate placement there. But as I was saying, you don't want to be flying so far away or so high up. Unless you're getting like dived on or something. In that case, then you can. And one thing I do want to mention as well, he does not have the Ultron team up, and I don't think he gets that throughout this whole entire game actually. So that's one thing I do want to point out as well. So this is just Ironman by himself. Obviously he doesn't benefit from the team up anyway, but with Ultron being your support hero with you, and this is good to try to take out the Squirrel Girl ultimate, by the way. You want to be doing that. You can easily kill that with a Punisher or an Ironman, something like that. Again, really good flanking angles here. Playing within his Cloak and Dagger's ultimate. That's why he's still alive right now. Finishes off the thing. Amazing there. Using his Unibeam more often. Right? The Unibeam is what you want to be using 90% of the time. He will use Repulsor Blast, but you kind of want to mix it up depending on how far away the enemy is running away from you, for example. But if anyone is within that 25-meter range, or just once you know you're close enough, then you have to be using Unibeam all the time, whether it's the overdrive version or the regular version. It does not matter. You want to be using Unibeam, and he's using the fly mechanic to get himself back to his team, as he was positioned so far away now that he came back to get healed up, obviously. And again, now he's sitting in the front line, right in front of line of sight of his teammates, get healed up. Taking out the thing. Ironman's one of the best heroes at taking out the thing because obviously the thing counters movement, but that doesn't include Ironman's flying ability because it's not kind of like a movement tech. That's just his base movement, right? So good positioning here to position behind cover so you can get healed up a little bit. Got another ultimate so you can get another good flank on, I'm assuming is what he's going to try and do here. And then plop that ultimate down right on top of them. He's basically using the overdrive off cooldown more or less from the looks of it. And that's probably kind of how you want to use this. Obviously not picking the fight with the Squirrel Girl there because she's camped out in a spot. Uses the ultimate, gets a pick on one support, so it's worth it. And he's now getting the damage boost from his rocket as well. And rocket's pretty much in almost every game here. Ironman can easily take out this Jeff, and he does. Unibeam is super, super strong now, man. Such a strong ability in this game, especially in the overdrive. Gets another pick as well. Absolutely solid picks here on the enemy team. Like I said, once he realizes he's at a further range, then he starts using the Repulsor Blast, which is obviously what you want to be doing. And as Ironman, because you have so much splash damage with your Repulsor Blast, you want to make sure that you are spending the time to take out the kind of objects in the enemy team. So this means like Namor turrets or penny mines or Loki lamps or whatever it may be. Ironman is one of the best heroes for this. Squirrel Girl is a good one for it as well. Punisher is another one. Again, low ground here, and like I said, so you do want to focus those objects if you're Ironman because you're definitely going to help your team out a ton. Using his Repulsor Blast because the enemies are at a bit of a distance here. Pushing off the back of that Squirrel Girl ultimate. So as you can see, once that ultimate was popped, once the Cloak and Dagger ultimate was popped, they then started pushing forward, gaining some ground. Doesn't get hit with the Eye of Agamotto because it actually technically was in cover because it was behind the payload moving, which I don't know if that was intentional or not, or maybe it was just by mistake because he didn't get hit by it, but that's something to mention. And then he takes cover behind this part of the map because the Emma Frost is obviously using her ultimate here. Uses Uni Beam, trying to kill the Emma Frost. Gets a pick on, I'm not too sure he kills there, and he also kills the Invisible Woman. Psylocking the Invisible Woman, and also an assist here as well with the rocket boost of damage. Using his Repulsor Blast again at range because, like I said, Uni Beam only goes 25 meters. Well, like I said, the main part of his kit is Uni Beam, right? That's what you want to be doing. Managed to cancel the ultimate here. Also, what he's not used is the kind of rocket missiles. And it's kind of free damage, right? If you just use it. So I feel like he's kind of missing out on free damage. He's going to place the ultimate here. Great ultimate placement. His ultimate placement is really good. You need to be really fast with it though, so the enemy team can't pick you off. But obviously in the lower ranks, it's a lot easier to do. I'm not saying he's not a good player, but I'm just saying they're not really looking out for the fact that he's just flanked them twice with an Ironman ult and they've done nothing about it 2 to 3 times now. They've tried to switch to Ironman to kind of counter him. But if you're not confident on Ironman, then don't do that. Don't counter a flyer with another flyer. That is one tip I have to give some people. I made this mistake a lot. Until you get good with using the certain hero, like I like playing Ironman personally. And I have some decent game time with him. But if you've never played a flyer and you're trying to counter a flyer with another flyer, which is clearly what this guy's trying to do, he's just flying around him to try and distract him or something. I don't know. But that is not the way to do it. You either want to use Scarlet Witch, which is not banned because we have one on our team, a Hela, a Punisher. Someone like that will do a much better job. Hawkeye, if you've got really good aim, than trying to fight a flyer with another flyer when you don't know how to use them, right? If you know how to use them, then by all means do that. He's got another ultimate, which you can place at some point now. And again, look, this guy's now gone Human Torch. He's not going to get anywhere near this guy because this guy is a really good Iron Man player. One ultimate would have destroyed the whole team there, actually, to be fair, if he used it. I don't know if he's saving it for the... Kills through the Invisible Woman ultimate, which obviously Iron Man's damage does do. Iron Man's got one of the best ultimates for killing through pretty much 90% of things because of the amount of damage it does. Dealing tons of damage to the Punisher here and gets the quick finish on the Black Widow. Now that we're halfway through this video, if you are enjoying it, please subscribe to the channel as we're trying to reach our goal of 20k subscribers by the end of this year. And we've been growing quite a bit recently after playing Marvel Rivals, and I do enjoy playing this game. Every update feels new and fresh, and the meta right now is a bit of a weird one, to be honest. That's why Iron Man's obviously doing so well. But regardless of that, I do enjoy playing this game, right? So we are going to be making tons of content on it going into the future. But like I said, please subscribe so we can hit that goal of 20k. Let's get straight back into it. Switching sides now, we're on the defending side and we're going to be seeing how this guy does. They've now got a Groot on the enemy team, which we didn't have before. And I think they've switched to Punisher to try and deal with our Iron Man, so let's see how he does. And the guy that kept switching to Flyers is now went Cloak and Dagger, which is a bit of a shame, to be honest. If you have to switch and play Cloak and Dagger, then you know something's wrong, right? This guy's obviously doing well enough to make people switch heroes, which is always just something that you enjoy seeing, right, when you're doing it well. So the enemy team's team comp is clearly doing a little bit better than before, so they're doing a much better job at this. They've got... Now he's going to try and pull off a flank, I'm assuming, to do his ultimate again. Dealing good damage with the Uni Beam once again. Can easily take out the Groot here. Unfortunately, didn't need the ultimate. He was already doing enough damage. He should have popped it a little bit quicker if he wanted the quick finish, but I don't think he had to use it there. I think he spotted that there were so many people dead and then he already had used it, which is a bit unfortunate, right? You don't want to be wasting your ultimate, but you don't want to be saving it. So if he used it pretty much straight away as soon as he entered that flank, I think he would have got much better value from his ultimate there. Regardless, he's doing a really good job. You probably get the Groot out as well. So he's died a good few times back to back here, and that is just because the enemy team have changed their composition and he's trying to adjust to that clearly, which he's struggling to do obviously because they've now got proper enemy players that can deal with him now, right? So they're doing a good job because they've got a Punisher, they've got a Groot who's blocking off some of his damage from the walls, and his magic is flanking right crazy, right? We all know how good magic can be in the correct hands. He's almost got his ultimate again. He's trying to pull up a flank, early flank here before he even gets his ultimate. Gets taken out like a good handful of times just in the space of a couple of minutes there. Trying to use his distance beam, try to stay in cover. This magic dive is actually working out so well for the enemy team. And I actually think magic might be the dive hero this season, right? Because she's a little bit slower. She's got a lot more HP. So even if she's taking damage, because she gains overshield, I actually think magic might be potentially the best dive hero for this new part of the season, which we'll get onto in another video. But right now he's in a really solid job. He's got his ultimate still. He never used it before, so he could get a semi-decent flank right here. Potentially not the best angle to place it because the enemy team's not closed up together here. You want to kind of use it to cancel ultimate, as we can see here, which he does do. Iron Man's one of the best, like I said, at basically cancelling ultimates or just dealing damage through most ultimates, right? And they've also got an Adam Warlock to kind of complete the reses on the team, and they've got a Mantis who's also going to get res as well. So they've got like an Adam Warlock Mantis composition here. Triple support on the enemy team. Trying to deal damage to the Punisher, who is his main threat essentially, right? And Adam Warlock as well. So they've made some really good switches in the enemy team, which he needs to try and play around now. And he's playing within his teammates' Cloak and Dagger ultimate. Dealing a bit of damage here at range. Probably get the easy finish now. Cloak and Dagger does not survive that kind of damage. And that was a good team wipe, right? So he's got his ultimate back again as well, which is really solid. You build up a lot of ultimate charge Iron Man, which I've noticed. And I think that's what's making him super powerful right now. Because he can cancel so many ultimates, I think that just makes him so strong. And he can also cancel the Jeff Nado ultimate as well, which is probably one of the strongest ultimates in the entire game. Try to deal a bit of damage to the magic here. Potentially could have used his ultimate on her just to get it out a little bit faster. Obviously, I'm assuming he's wanting to use it to counter that. Which, unfortunately, he does deal damage, but he doesn't get any kills there. And he gets a revive as well, which is always good. He has died a lot more this round, obviously because of, like I said, the composition on the enemy team. Using his uni beam, trying to stay behind the left-hand side cover here. Doing a really good job at using the cover to his advantage. His teammates are getting him healed up as well. He's really trying to take out the Punisher here because that's the big threat to him, right? So the Punisher is going to be the biggest threat, and then after that, kind of Cloak and Dagger is a semi-threat to you as well, because if you're low HP, because the attacks are aimbot, is something you want to kind of keep an eye out for. They switched to Moon Knight on the enemy team here. He's got his ultimate again, man. Oh my days. Managed to ult behind the Doctor Strange shield, which is crazy, man. Gets a triple off that one. This guy's ultimate placement is so good. The only thing I would say is that no one's really cancelled his ultimate, and that's something that's going to happen a lot more often in the kind of slightly higher ranks. I'm not saying this guy is not good, but when it comes to placing his ultimate, it would need to be a bit more concealed than the way he's doing it, right, in the higher ranks. But regardless of that, every other piece of his mechanics is really solid. Getting the damage boost from his rocket and the shields as well. And one thing, like I said, I want to see him use is the missiles, because he could just be getting a little bit of free damage off an ability that is just something that's free, essentially. And that way he's not wasting all his cooldowns. He gets some quick, easy finishes doing that. Probably a couple of extra kills as well, right? But he's not used it not once, which I find a bit strange for how good this guy's playing, right? You want to use every part of your hero's kit, especially since if he's doing this well without it, I mean, he can then just use it to do like a little bit extra damage, right? Again, insanely good ultimate placement there. On the attacking side again, we're now in overtime. So let's see how this does. This overtime does last a little bit as well. Like I said, this is one of the longer videos, but I do want to show it because of how many elims he does get and how well he's playing as Iron Man. Takes out the Moon Knight. He's back again. Again using Unibeam and sitting low with his team. When he's at this kind of height, he doesn't really die because obviously he's in line of sight, like I said, of his teammates. So that doesn't matter too much. You could take a bit of damage at this point and you'll still survive. Getting a good push with his teammates now, and he's focusing on the Moon Knight because the Moon Knight's got high ground and he's got his Unibeam. Easiest way to take out Moon Knight. He needs to be a bit careful fighting the Adam Warlock because Adam Warlock is good if this guy has really good aim. But he does not, unfortunately, and he manages to absolutely destroy him. The Warlock's trying to get a res off and just got a good space here to push into. Try to get a flank again because he's got his ultimate again. Places it perfectly once again. Oh my god. This team has no answer for his ultimate placement. I want to know how many kills and count up how many kills he's actually got just off of his ultimate, which is absolutely ridiculous. But as you can see here, using Unibeam at this range, they've got a Star-Lord now as well for the res comp. People always go to res comp for overtime. It's crazy people do that. Dealing damage now. Gets another kill. Gets a triple, man, off of just dealing standard damage. Pushing up with his repulsor blast, as you can see here at range. Staying low, playing with his team now because he kind of has to. In overtime, you want to make sure you're always on the point as often as you can be, right? You don't really want to lose that. Gets Agamotto'd here. If the Stranger's smart, he would have focused him first. Obviously, Strange doesn't have loads of range attacks. Punisher, oh my god. Star-Lord will probably kill us here. Or not. Oh, our Armor Frost had an ultimate. Got another ultimate there with a res of Adam Warlock just behind the wall. Use another... Oh, he hits the wall this time. That is so unfortunate, man. That's something you need to be careful of, obviously, is wasting your ultimate, right? So either you get a good angle, which is what he was trying to do, or you go in the enemy line of sight and potentially die or get animation cancelled. So he picked to be in a good angle and then obviously hit the wall with his ultimate, which he kind of paid the price there. But regardless, he got still some kills, got a good push. Enemy team are pushing now. Again, switches to overdrive Unibeam and focusing on the enemy backlines here, the Punisher. The Doctor Strange had a shield up, so there's no point in shooting the Strange. And we're back again with a res. He actually gets a couple of reses. Gets a good ultimate placement here, but unfortunately doesn't get any picks. That's the only thing that obviously you can't really account for. If your teammates are dealing damage, then they could get the kill before your ultimate goes off, right? But that doesn't really matter as long as we're keeping it pushing. Try to deal a bit of poke damage to the enemies before they kind of come through here. And again, as you can see, these guys are just jumping up and down, going crazy. We've got our Cloak and Dagger ultimate here, so we can play inside that. Get 2 picks, man. Easy picks as well. Punisher's going to go down 2. Absolutely crazy. Our Eye of Agamotto goes off in our backline, but we also get the pick on that guy too. Wow, man. This guy's actually playing insanely well. And as much as Iron Man's Unibeam is easy to use, he's using it perfectly, right? He's doing a good job at keeping his aim on target, and for a controller player, he's doing an amazing job in my opinion. So really, really solid stuff here. Focusing on the thing. Got another ultimate, which he might probably use right about now, I'm assuming. He gets the damage boost as well. That is crazy, man. This guy's ultimate placement is honestly nuts. They can't do nothing about it as well because his team are playing with him super well. On the defending side now, once again, and like I said, man, this guy is doing an amazing job, right? There's not too much to Iron Man's kit. It's not super complicated, but to know where to position and then pull off a good flank to use his ultimate, this guy's doing a really good job of, right? Gets another res this time, which is pretty solid. You don't really want to be too far away from your team, so you do want a Rocket or an Adam Warlock at this stage in the game. And Like I said, should you be using those missiles, man? Like, it's just free damage you could be getting. I just like to see him use it just for that free damage, man, because he's doing a really good job regardless. One thing I like about Iron Man is that you can get straight back into the fight pretty quick as well if you kind of jet your way there. We've got a magic trying to dive him. Portal's out the way. Dealing a bit of damage here at range. The enemy team do capture the point, unfortunately. He's got another ultimate, man. Solo ults the Punisher this time. So he's got good... At this point, he could have placed his ultimate, right? Because that would have been really good ultimate placement once again. I'm assuming he's wishing he kept the ultimate now, because at that point right there, that would have been the best time to use it. Waiting for his teammates to regroup a little bit here. Two of his teammates are kind of in there by themselves doing their own thing. And sometimes you just can't help that, unfortunately. So we're dropping back, trying to hold this angle, which is a better angle to hold. So as much as you are giving up a lot of ground here, then this is the slightly better angle. I think he's waiting on the magic to stop the flank. Cancels the ultimate though. That is crazy. That's big. Flanking with his Scarlet Witch. So trying to sandwich the enemy team here. Right, he's got his ultimate once again ready to go. So he doesn't need to use it now because it's only a Groot left. Groot ults just before he dies. So there we have it. That's our guy, Historic B, who goes 104 elims, 12 deaths, which is not that much if you consider it, and 55k damage almost, which is absolutely insane for any level of gameplay, to be honest with you. But this guy is obviously a really good player. There's a lot to learn, like I mentioned before, and there's some things that he can improve on as well, like we mentioned about the missiles. But if you enjoyed this video and learned something new, don't forget to subscribe, and thank you very much for watching.